Hi, welcome to my video on the review of special right triangles 30, 60, 90 and 45, 45. And as in all reviews, you can treat it as a quiz where you can mark each question and give yourself a mark or whatever it's worth. And then you can total up each of the pages. And when you're finished all the questions, add up your totals on the bottom of the page, put it over 43, divide 43 into this number and get a decimal. Move your decimal 2 places to the right to get your percentage. And this is the first page of 1 of 6, and there are more questions. So pause your video and work each of these out. And here we go. Place n, 2n, and n root 3 on the side. So opposite to 30 is n, opposite to 90 is 2n, and opposite to 60 is n root 3. And give yourself a mark if you're correct. Place the values in the blank. We have a 90, a 60. So this angle is 30 because all the angles adds up to 180. Or if this is a 90-degree angle, they add up to 90. So 60 and 30 make 90. Opposite to 30 is n. Opposite to 60 is n root 3. And opposite to 90 is 2n. So that means n is 4 root 2, n root 3 is 4 root 6, and 2n is 8 root 2. We get each one of these correct, give yourself 3 marks. Find the exact value of each, the value of x and y. Again, 30, 60, 90, so this angle is 30 because it adds up to 180, and opposite 30 is n, opposite to 60 is n root 3, and opposite to 90 is 2n. And notice that we have 2n is equal to 6, so 2n equals 6. Divide by 2 means n is equal to 3. So n is equal to 3, so that means n is equal to 3, so x is 3, and that means that n is 3, so 3 root 3. So y is 3 root 3. And for each one, give yourself a mark. 2 marks. Number 4. Again, we have a 90, a 30. So this is a 60-degree angle, adds up to 180. And we have opposite to 30 is n. Opposite to 60 is n root 3. And opposite to 90 is 2n. And as we can see, n is 7, so 2 times 7 is 14, and n is 7, so this is 7 root 3, so the perimeter is the sum of all the sides, so 7 plus 14, add on 7 root 3, and when we add, we can add the numbers, you get 21 and 7 root 3. We cannot add 21 to 7 root 3 because we can only add like radicals. And give yourself, if you have each of the sides correctly, give yourself a mark. If you have the perimeter, give yourself a mark. 2 marks total. Find the exact area of triangle TFH is a right triangle. And again, we have 90, 60, so this angle is 30. Opposite 30 is n. Opposite 90 is 2n, and opposite 60 is n root 3. So we have, notice, 2n is equal to 4 root 3. Divide by 2, n equals 2 root 3. And n is 2 root 3. And right here, that's n root 3. So n is 2 root 3. And that gives us 2 times root 3 times root 3 is 3, 6. So this side is 6 and that side is 2 root 3. So the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. So the base is 2 root 3 and the height is 6. And a half times 2 cancels out. So we get 3 root 6. And the area is in square units. Give yourself all the sides, give yourself a mark. And if you got the area right, 6 root 3, give yourself a mark. total of 10 for that page. Let's continue. Pause the video. Don't forget, pause the video and work out the question, and then press play to see if you're right. Here we go. Find the values of x and y. We have a x. We know that this side is 6 root 3. So we have a 30 and we have a 60. So opposite 30 is in. Oh, let me draw two separate triangles, and that way you can see what we're doing for sure. Because we have this side is common to both triangles. So we have 6 root 3. So this is 30, this is 60. So 30 is in, opposite 90 is 2n, opposite 60 is n root 3. So we have n root 3 is equal to 6 root 3, which means that they cancel. So n is 6. If n is 6, this side is 6, and this side is 2 times 6, so it's 12. So AB is 12. So that means x is 12. So we have that one found. Now we're doing this triangle. So let's draw this triangle separate right here. Here we go. A, F, B, right angle, 60. So 90, 60, this angle is 30. And AB is 12. So now I'm going to do 30, 60, 90. So opposite 30 is n. Opposite 60 is n root 3. Opposite the 90 is 2n. So in this triangle, notice we have n root 3 is equal to 12. So we divide by root 3. They cancel. Root 3's cancel. And I have a radical in the denominator, so I multiply by root 3, top and bottom. So that gives me 12 root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is 3. And n is 4 root 3. So in this triangle, this is 4 root 3. And this is 2n. So 2n is 2 times 4 root 3. So that's 8 root 3. So y is 2n. So that means that y is 8 root 3. And give yourself a mark for each of those. But you had to work the two triangles. Notice I drew the two triangles separately, so you not to get confused. Number 7, we have a B, C, D is a rectangle. So this is a rectangle. So in a rectangle, all these angles in the corners are right angles. And in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So that side equals that side, and that side equals that side. And the angle ABD is 30 degrees. And BD is 8 feet. There's 8 BD. So I need to find the exact area of the shaded region. And the shaded region is a semicircle. So I need to get the area of a semicircle is to get the area of a circle, half of it. So I need to get the radius. So if this is the diameter, I need to get what this length is. Here we go. And we have a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. That's a 90. That's a 30. That's a 60. This is an n. This is a 2n. And this is a 60. So this side up here is n root 3. So it looks like we got n root 3. So this is 2n equals 8. So 2n equals 8. Divide by 2, n equals 4. And if n equals 4, there's 4 there. That means that this side is 4 root 3. So that's n is 4, so that's 4 root 3. So A, B is 4 root 3. But notice that AB is made up of a radius, 2 radii. So AB is the diameter, which is 2 radii. Because that's the center, then that's the radius, and that's the radius. So that means 2r equals 4 root 3. Divide by 2, r is 2 root 3. So the radius is 2 root 3. So to get the area of of a semicircle, the area of a semicircle is half the pi r squared. A half pi, remember we want exact, so we leave pi as itself, don't change it to 3.14, and the radius is 2 root 3 squared. And again, 2 root 3 times 2 root 3, 2 times 2 is 4, root 3 times root 3 is 3, so 2 root 3 squared is a 12, and a half of 12 is 6, so that's 6 pi, and the unit is in feet, so the radius is in feet, and so the area is in square feet. So you can give yourself a mark if you have n is 4. You give yourself a mark if you get the radius, and you give yourself a mark if you have this formula written down right here. And if you squared it out and come up with the right answer, you got another mark, so 4 in total. Number 8, find the exact value of the sine of 30. Well, a 30-degree angle is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. And when we're doing trig, normally we would go n, 2n, n root 3. But because we're doing trig, I make n to be 1. So n is 1, that's 1. This is 2n, so it's 2 times 1 is 2. And this is n times 1 times root 3 is root 3. So I rather use 1, 2, and root 3. And that means the sine is Sohcahtoa, S-O-H-C-A-H-T-O-A. And sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So in relation to the 30-degree angle, opposite is 1, and the hypotenuse is 2. So if you have, give yourself a mark. Total up the page, 7. Hopefully everything is going great. Remember, the order of my review is the order of my videos. And number 9, find the exact value. So we have a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, and again, I always draw 30 and a 60. And because I'm doing trig, this is a 1, this is a 2, and this is a root 3. The smallest number is 1, the largest number opposite 90 is 2, and the in-between angle is 60, and that's the in-between measure. Root 3 is between 1 and 2. Anyway, Sohcahtoa, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. So sine of 60. 60 is here, opposite, root 3 over hypotenuse is 2. Tan of 30. 30, tan is opposite over adjacent. 30, opposite over adjacent, so it's 1 over root 3. And 1 over root 3, we remove the radical from the bottom, we rationalize it. So I'll leave this alone until I want to rationalize this. So multiply by root 3 over root 3. The bottom, root 3 times root 3 is 3. 1 times root 3 is root 3. So now I did the sine of 60 and the tan of 30, done. Now I'll multiply next, because again, the order of this is PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. Think about it. We work out the sine cos. Now we're sine and tan. Now we have the brackets can't be done. We did the brackets here. There's no exponents. So we do multiplication division. So we multiply these two first before we subtract. So that's root 3 over 4. Subtract root 3 over 12. 1 times root 3, 2 times 2. 1 times root 3, 4 times 3. Now we have two fractions, and we have the same radicals, so we need a common denominator. Common denominator is 12. So we multiply this fraction by 3 over 3. So it gives me 3 root 3 over 12. And this is already denominator of 12. And that gives me 3, subtract 1 there. I can subtract these because the radicals are the same, root 3's. So 3 subtract 1 is 2 root 3 over 12. And 2 over 12 cancels to root 3 over 6. 2 and the 2 goes once, 2 and the 6 goes 12. Or you could have 1/6 root 3, either or. And we got 6 marks to assign, 1 mark for this value, 1 mark for this value, 1 mark for multiplying correctly, right here, 1 mark for getting the right common denominator and getting an equivalent fraction, and then another mark for this, and another mark for reducing it down. 6 marks in total. Number 10, place n root 2 on the sides. So 90, 45. So this angle is 45 because they add up to 90 in a right triangle. And the sides are n root 2. 2 angles equal, 2 sides equal. Give yourself a mark. Number 11, find exact values of each, x and y. 45, 90, this is a 45. And again, these are 45, so this is an n, this is an n, and this is an n root 2. So that means n is 3, so that means x is 3, because n is 3. N is 3, so this is 3 root 2. So that means y is 3 root 2. Mark each. Number 12, find the exact value of x and y. Again, 45, 90. This angle is 45. Adds up to 180, or the angles are complementary and add up to 90. So we have these two sides are n and n, and this side is n root 3. So we have n root 3 is equal to 10. So we divide by, root 3 now. No, what a mistake. 2 sides equal. That means I got a 2. So it's n root 2. Just caught myself. Root 3 is in 30, 60, 90. So I'm dividing by root 2. And we multiply, they cancel. I have to multiply the denominator by root 2 to rationalize it. So the numerator is multiplied by root 2. So 10 times root 2, 10 root 2. Root 2 times root 2, 2. So n is 5 root 2. So 5 root 2 is for x. 5 root 2 is for y. 1 mark each, 11 total. So notice n root 2. 30, 60, 90 is n 2n, n root 3. Number 13, we have a circle, and it looks like a square. Let's see, PQR is a square. Because it's a square, then I'll mark all right angles in here. And I'll mark that all sides are equal in a square. P, Q, R, T lie on the circle. The circumference of the circle is 5 pi feet. Find the exact area of P, Q, R, T. We're asking to find, what we're doing is find the area of the square. But the circumference is equal to 2 pi R. And the circumference here, C, is equal to 5 pi. Circumference is 5 pi, circumference is 2 pi r. That means that 2 pi r is equal to 5 pi. So I divide both sides by 2 pi. They cancel out. Pi's cancel out. So I get 5 over 2. So how am I going to get the area of the square? Well, in a square, I have the radius. So if I draw this diagonal through here, and it passes through the center. So this is a square. The diagonal goes from one corner to the other, not being a side. That means the radius is right here, and the radius is here, because the diagonal goes to the center. So that means that if you think about it, we have TQ is 2R. 2R, make that an R now. So that means TQ is 2 times 5 over 2. And they cancel, so you get 5. And you could call it 5 feet or just 5 for now, because the circumference is in feet. So TQ is in feet. If you want to write that down. So we have TQ is 5. So let's put 5 here. Now, let's deal with the 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Or do we have a 45? Well, if you've got 2 sides equal, you've got 2 angles equal. So that means this is a 45 right triangle. 90, 2 sides equal, they're 45. And this is also 45, 45. because notice this is a 90, and two sides equal, two angles equal, two sides equal, two angles equal. So in this triangle, we have 45, 45. So this side is in, and this side is in, and this side is in root 2 in a 45 right triangle. So that means that n root 2 is equal to 5. So we divide by root 2. Root 2's cancel. We multiply top and bottom by root 2 over root 2. We get 5 root 2. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this side is 5 root 2, because that's what n is. And this side is 5 root 2 over 2. 5 root 2 over 2 is n. 5 root 2 over 2 is n. And the area of a square is the side squared. It's like a length times a width. But the length and the width are the same, so we just say s squared. So that's 5 root 2 over 2 squared. 5 root 2 over 2 times 5 root 2 over 2. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. The 2's cancel. 1 and 2. You get 25 over 2, which is 12 and a half, or you can call it 12.5. And the area is in square feet. 4 marks. So if you get the radius right here, you give yourself a mark. If you get the 5, you give yourself a mark. If you worked out n to be root 2 over 2, you give yourself a mark. If you worked out the area, you give yourself a mark. So 4 marks altogether. Find the exact value of, I didn't write this in again, see? I was checking it, but I didn't put it in. But now I'll put it in. Because when I checked the quiz, or checked, I said, oh yeah, I'll fix that. But again, I forgot to come back and put 10. Anyway, in a 45 right triangle, I have an n, an n. Again, instead of putting n root 2, I'll put a 1, and a root 2. So the tan is SOHCAHTOA. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So tan is opposite over adjacent. So 45 opposite over adjacent is 1 over 1. So the tan of 45 is 1. Give yourself a mark. The sine of 45. Well, that's the sine squared of 45. So that's the sine of 45 being squared. Sine of 45, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so it's 1 over root 2. And we multiply top and bottom by root 2. So that gives us root 2 over 2 squared. So root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2 gives us root 2 times root 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 over 4 is 1/2. So the sine of 45 is 1/2 or 0.5. And if you've got the value of root 2 over 2, give yourself a mark. If you squared it correctly to 1/2, give yourself a mark. 16. We have a triangle, and this line is 4 root 2. This is a 90. This is a 45. So this is a 45-degree angle. This 45, 45, 90 is 180. Now, it says the angle CBA is 150. CBA is 100. This angle here is 150. That means this angle is 90. So 150 subtract 90 makes a 60-degree angle. Okay. 180 degrees in a triangle. So this triangle, like this is a 90, 45, 45. That adds up to 180. So these angles add up to 180. So these two angles are 120. So 180 subtract 120 gives 60. So that means this angle at C is 60. So all the angles are 60. Which means if all the angles are equal, this is equilateral triangle. So that means that all these sides right here are equal. Because this is a 45 right triangle, two sides equal, that means this side is equal to this one. So let's go ahead and work it out. Again, this triangle is 45, 45, 90. So this is an n, and this is an n. So this side is n root 2. So that means that n root 2 equals 4 root 2. And you can see that n must be 4. Cancel the root 2's out. So n is 4, so that's a 4. So this side is 4. Because this is equilateral, so this is n, so that's a 4, and that's a 4. So the parameter of this exact parameter, which I neglected at the beginning to do, I have to get all the sides DA, AB, BC, DC. So the sides are 4. Notice I got a 4 and a 4 and a 4 and a 4 root 2. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 root 2. I add up the number 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12 plus 4 root 2. I can't add 12 to 4 root 2 because they're not alike. And the parameters, whatever the units was, I didn't give any units, so there's the parameter. And there's 4 marks here. So if you have n correctly, you get a mark. If you have all the angles, if you got all the angles correct, 45, 45, 60, 60, you got a mark. If you have this written down correctly, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 root 2 correctly, if you add them up correctly, 4 marks. 11 for that page. Okay. And the last one in your review, again, leave the best for last. Now, we have a circle. Let's read, and I'll read. The area of the circle is 8 pi square centimeters. ET is the diameter. Diameter goes to the center. O is the center of the circle. Find the value of EV. So find the length of this side, exact value. So, again, we're given the area of a triangle. So, the area of a circle. Where did I say triangle then? Area of a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the area is given as 8 pi. So that means that pi r squared is equal to 8 pi. We divide by pi or scratch them out because they're on each side, so I can cross them out. So r squared is equal to 8. That means r is equal to the square root of 8. And the square root of 8 is 4 times 2. Square root of 4 is 2, root 2. Now, remember, we're asked for exact value, so you can't change this to a decimal. We have to leave it as a radical. So let's continue. What else do we have here? So that's a radius, and that's a radius. So that means that ET is the diameter, or 2r. So that means that we want a radius, so let's do this right, ET is 2 times the radius. ET, because that's a radius, that's 2 root 2. That's a radius of 2 root 2, so we add, we get 4 root 2, or we can, ET is 2 radii, 2 times that, 4 root 2. So we can add them up to get 4 root 2, or we can put it in here and double it. So we have the length of ET. Now, we need some angles. How do we get to this side? Well, we got x and 2x. That means that x plus 2x are the angles of this triangle. If that's a 90, all of them added up is 180. So that means these two angles must be 90. 90. So x plus 2x equals to 90, plus 90 is 180. So 3x is equal to 90. Divide by 3. X, 3's cancel. X is equal to 30. 2x equals 2 times 30, which is 60. So let's put x is 30 degrees. 2x is twice that is 60 degrees. That makes sense. 30, 2 times that 60. But notice that this ET, this side is 4 root 2. In a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, this side is n, this side is 2n, and this side is n root 3. So you notice that 2n is equal to 4 root 2. So divide by 2, n is equal to 2 root 2. So this side is 2 root 2. And EV is n root 3. But n is 2 root 2 times root 3. So that's 2 root 6. And again, it's in centimeters, square centimeters. So this is centimeters. So, nice little problem. We had to work out the angles to get the 30, 60, 90, to get the n, 2n, and n root 3. You had to get the length of this, so it's a really good problem. And if you have got the radius, you get a mark. If you figured out the angles of 30, 60, 90, you got a mark. If you figured out what n was, you got a mark. And if you figured out the exact value of EV, you got a mark. So 4 marks in total for that page. So if you total up all your pages and put it over, I think you put it over the 43 at the beginning, figure out your decimal and get your percent. Hopefully your mark on the 30 special right triangles is okay. Great. And if you like my video, click the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell, because there's more videos coming. And visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.